Hi, everyone. My name's Carrie Morgan, and I am the host of the Holistic Empire Summit. This is where you come to unleash your purpose, gain prosperity, and create profit. So I have the privilege of interviewing women all over the world, and they are here to help you understand exactly what it takes to show up in your life and step into your power. So I have today a beautiful, gorgeous woman that I have met online, and we have this amazing connection. And so she's coming back to share with you a little bit more about passive income and how you can create money every month coming in by doing something once. So Susanna, I hope I said that right, just because I know. And hey, this is real life, and this is us just, being us hanging out at the coffee shop. So Susanna is going to go more into details about exactly what she does, but she is an international celebrity speaker, and she has done so much in her life, which lets you see that you are worth it. Whatever you really, really want deep down inside, just step into it. So I'm going to go over to Susanna right now, and she's going to fill us in on all of the amazing stuff showing up for her in her life right now.
Awesome. Can't wait. Yeah, this is great. It's like little girls in a coffee shop just sharing our experiences. So I guess my journey, I think anything in life, so regardless where you're in your life, is one of the biggest elements of anything, wherever you're at, is you need to own your past. And by that I mean it's not dwell on it, meaning like your mistake and things like that. There is a purpose and a reason. There is a bigger plan why you have the challenges, why things have not gone your way, just like the same way why things have gone your way as well too. So to step into, I guess, into your magnificence and your full power, you've got to own and be gentle and be kind and celebrate that, you know what, we fall, we get scrapes, we tumble, we absolutely muck up sometimes, but that mucking up, is where you learn your biggest gifts, etc. So financial empowerment is massive for me. I believe that as a woman, we've got so many gifts to share, and this is what this time frame is all about. But it's very rare to share our purpose or a message if we're on survival mode. And biologically, when we're in surviving, and that plays a role too, because if for any reason your husband left or financial struggles come in and you've got a family to support, you are literally producing a biochemistry in your body that is very survival cortisol. You're working from the front of your brain, and it's basically, can I survive? Can I feed the kids? Can I pay the bills? And you shut down part of your brain, which is the enhanced, expansive time when you think about wonderful things, about your dreams, etc. So if we learn how to turn up the volume in our lives so we can create, where we desire, and we step out of survival and we go more into thriving, this is when we become magnetic. This is when we all of a sudden, all those ideas that, by the way, you were born with those ideas. There's no mistake why you like to do some of those things when you were a child, when you were a little girl. They start to come flourishing, and then the alignment comes in. Then you meet that person, and all of a sudden everything comes and falls into place as well too. So the biggest thing is moving out of, as much as you can, I know if it's hard to sometimes, if you're in that zone, out of survival and moving slowly out of it and starting to trust life and receive life as well too. So my story starts with tumbling down, crumbling time. We all have I call it, like anything goes for gold, the golden times where nothing you can touch can go wrong. And we all experience that. But life always, it will give you humbling moments. I call it the grace, the grace of life. And I became really chronically ill. And when you get sick, it's like a couple days, and, maybe you go, it's a weekend, then a week, and you're starting to go, what's going on? Then, it starts going to a month and 3 months. And this was 3.5 years. When I acquired a autoimmune disease. So I saw my active income just completely vanish. Like it was like no worse than the tap, because not only was all the bills still coming in, but when you're unwell, lots of new bills come in as well too. Yeah. So regardless if you got insurance is not a wealth creation plan. So one of the things I just realized, like, oh my God, like I have not leveraged my life. I really haven't. I had a really good business, etc. But I was the business. I stopped, the income stopped. I was a single woman as well at the time. So, didn't have a husband to support me. etc. So yeah, it was very, very tough. So one of the things, in the moments of crisis, they are your gems when you get to redefine and define your life. When things are not right. It's like, God, Susana, Nick, when you get well, when you get your energy back, you got to build other income streams. So for me, it's a simple analogy. So you get a leg which has 4 legs. If you just got active income, you've got this real wobbly leg. If you build some passive residual, you still have, only 2 legs, and build investments and other things too. You've got to have a good table that you can dance in and jump in, and it's going to be more robust as well too. So we got to get a little bit more savvy. And this is a condition that we have for women, because, we come from my grandmother's generation when the man was the provider. And of course, we know that's not always the case. But we still have that in our DNA, where sometimes we think, the man's a financial plan. We settle in a relationship thinking my husband's got this covered, and then we find out later that for any reason things don't go the right way. There is the rate in the US of women over 60 after divorce is like within the 4 months they will go financially broke. Massive. So this is a serious, not just like let's just all be financially empowered. This is actually a serious matter, because there's a lot of women going into retirement age and don't have anything to retire. And if we're relying on the government or relying on something else, we're going to find ourselves that we work so hard all our life and then we've got nothing to show for it. So it's time to just wisen up. It's just not about doing massive radical changes. It's just fine-tuning and becoming a little bit more savvy in regards of our own financial empowerment, taking responsibility. So that was my lesson. Big lesson. Hope nobody has to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars and really be sick. Just look at your life and go, okay, where do I need to strengthen my pillars in my financial empowerment?
Yes. So I'm going to just say one word that describes you is magnetic, right? Because I could totally tell like you are a celebrity speaker. I could just feel the energy radiating right off this video right now, right? So, and I love that. I definitely love that. And I just want to say how amazing that is. And this is the reason that I'm doing this summit, is because so many women find that sense of, well, am I offering enough? Or am I giving enough for my service, for my price? Or they ever undervalue their price and their service, and they're not confident enough to, ask or receive what they really want. So to bring all the women in and learn the healing and also learn how to create the money, it's okay. You can learn how to create the money, but if you don't heal that inner self-talk, you won't sustain that for a long time and you will sabotage it. So we're going to go right into exactly what made you step into this new venture that you are dealing with right now, and how you see this in your future. How do you see this evolving for yourself?
Oh, great question, Kerry. So a couple things is you just touched on something so, I want to use the word magnified, like massive, that we need to be aware of, and that is the self-worth. For us to be abundant, we've got to have that self-worth and self-value. And there is so many stories, and we're probably, other speakers in this beautiful summit are going to cover that, which is why it's an amazing summit that you're creating, because it actually goes hand in hand. Wealth and self-worth walk side by side. Very simple example, if you don't have good self-worth, you're going to undercharge. You're going to let your boss probably demand too much of you and not get a pay rise, etc. So it's really, really important. So for me to step into this, it was a total different mindset. I had to look at my own mindset. We do this, I do this every single day and all that too, but we all have blocks, everybody, we're human beings. That's part of our life, is to break through our blocks so we can teach and coach and, celebrate our magnificence. So for me, it was like, okay, I need to smarten up. So I took a crisis. So a really good tip is look at your life, where is not working. Not to go and dwell in the mud for too long, but it's giving you clues where you actually are in the path of, of resistance. When we look at the word cash flow.
Yeah.
It's not cash chasing or cash depriving. It's a flow in life. And a really good analogy that we have is, when I do my masterminds, it's also, come on, ladies, like grab your hand and put a fist, and I'm trying to shove $100 bills in that fist. And it's so freaking hard to give you money. And this is what we're doing energetically. We are so, I don't deserve it. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, this, it's just all this, negative energy around it. And just open up a little bit. And I might be able to squeeze a couple little there, maybe a couple of coins, and then really open. And this is the receiving. And then I can just put piles and piles and piles of money. So wealth starts by our ability to be open to receive. And I know it sounds like every single spiritual teaching, but I'm going to say as well, it's about within you. Like, where do you sit with yourself? Where is your deserving meter? Do you deserve to be wealthy? Do you deserve to actually be able to take holidays? Do you actually, people say, of course I do not. Do you really feel it? And get really honest and just write it down. You can feel it when you say it, like even just start talking to yourself. And whenever your breath stops up here, there's resistance, You go, oh, what story have I created on that? Let it go. Let it go. Invest in, masterminds or whatever it is. The most important thing you can do is just move from here to there. If you're in here and you're trying to get all this business coaching and, trying to infuse more information, it's not going to work. Work on just opening up, and then everything is actually all the knowledge. Everybody tells you this, made really success and hit that point, they will tell you, I already had that within me, but I was resisting me the entire time, and I was not able to flow with life, which is the cash flow side of it. Yeah. So that would be my definition of wealth. It's really just open up to receiving. Yeah. And that's receiving you.
Oh yeah, receiving is huge, right? We even compliments women have a hard time receiving. Like someone will say, your hair looks nice, and they'll be like, I didn't even comb my hair. Like the first instant thought is, why would someone compliment me? I'm not worth it, right? Instead of saying, thank you, or, oh my gosh, yes, I really did a great job. You know what I mean? Or giving yourself that power, but also from internal, but feeling it emotionally. So let's venture in and talk about how you just started this new venture and how many people that you have already in this process and exactly what that looks like for a new person that wants to jump on board.
Absolutely. So I'll be very direct. I come from traditional business model, somebody who broke out of the JOB, just over broke system and got into business and, with a big passion and all that too. And I loved it. But one of the things you find out when you're in your business is you wear all the hats all at the same time. You got to be your marketing, you got to, the web, you got to be the customer service, you got to be all of this too. And you can find it can easily start to wear you down. And then the same inspiration that you had to gift out, to share your knowledge, it could be bombarded by someone, logistics, etc. And traditional business is hard. I say to people, yes, of course, I had, massive wins. I got nominated, business awards and all that too. But it was hard. So for me, I'll talk about mindset. One of the first things I need to get out of my own way. So having the background that I had, I've been approached by network marketing so many times. New ways, no ways, Susana, banana, every single one you ever imagine. All that, and they're all amazing companies in their own accord, but they never really sung to me. Just never did. For whatever reason, just didn't. So I was actually, and I show this in my mastermind classes too, like the power of actually mindset writing. And I was writing early the piece, I wanted a turnkey, already proven successful model. To me, that was important. I wasn't interested, because I come from traditional business, to recreate anything. I just wanted to plug in, put my personality, and roll with, with a ready system.
Yeah.
I even went to as an extent of going, I want it to be recession proof. Because recession is part of flow of life. And this is one of the things we talk about when it comes to finances. Not being negative. It's like saying your car's going to run out of petrol and you put a smiley face to trying to block the empty tank. It's part of the flow. Tides go in, tides go out. And the people that really succeed financially are the ones that actually plan for it as well. So when I want a proven success model, turnkey, that was recession proof. So lipstick economy, which is fascinating. I love this stuff. It's one of the economies that goes up, which means the market goes higher, doesn't lose money in times of recession. The reason why is, supplements and things like that too, is they tend to decline, even though they probably need it because they're super stressed. It's something that's invisible and it's an intangible. People want to look and feel good, very quick and very fast in times when they're not feeling that great, when things are crumbling. So, and then this opportunity came in. I literally got headhunted, I got tapped on the shoulder, and back in the days was and it was actually in June. We had to sign a non-disclosure agreement before I could actually be introduced to the company. And I just remember thinking, this isn't what I was asking. I was thinking maybe I would start doing more online programs for residual income. But a little voice went, Susana, in life, when you ask, it doesn't necessarily come in the outfit and in the voice, that vehicle that you are expecting.
Right.
And this is so interesting. So I went, okay, I'll look into it. So with traditional business model, obviously with the passion and with a big why, because that's important. You've got to have a big why. This is what's going to move you forward at any time. Because any business will have its ebbs and webs, And I said, okay, I'm going to go for this. This is my second chance. This is how I'm going to build back, obviously from being unwell. It's an alignment, it's a great company. I did my due diligence, it's in the top 500 in private companies, number 12, and number 1, consumer product. It's in the anti-aging industry. Everybody has skin. It's natural plant-based, it ticked so many boxes. And I went, okay, I'm going to do this. So I made that commitment to do that. And then the team just grew. And being at ground level too was actually a big plus to me. So now I've got a team over 100 something people. And I only, personally sponsored only like 10 people. And it's just power of leverage. I remember writing on my mindset books, like I need to leverage. When you suffer from chronic fatigue, which is something that only just recently coming out of it, leverage and, utilizing your energy in other ways is massive. So for me, I've just learned leverage in a total different way. It's about really having people and, we have so much fun. And I worked in some really funky companies before. I've never had so much fun every single week. We just had our Wealthy Wednesdays and we have all this women when they're looking for financial empowerment. We have wine and cheese and we talk and it's just, and lives are changing. Not only the product's changing people, because we have people obviously they look younger, but people have like acne, all this, had to hide their faces or scars, etc. And that's changing the life. But the lives that are changing from this vehicle, people leaving their job that just were stuck, for a long time, able to do that so they can be home with their mums, that's massive. Somebody being able to get their husband out of working in the mines so they can, in danger every single day, come home, it's massive. Be able to retire family members, so freedom means so many things to different people. And what I love about it is if there's more time with your family, claim that. If it's you to travel, live a bit of a laptop lifestyle, claim it, If it's about you just creating more financial empowerment, claim it. So for me, my own personal mission, because I love to create a little mission, is to create 20 millionaires out of this company. And that's been like the most beautiful thing, because the moment you declare something like that, the people that have been coming in, and they're just normal people. I mean, like I talk about real people. We're all real people. They just go, you know what? This is what I want to do. And then there's the vehicle there. So you got the passion, you got the why, and you allocate according to the time, to the money that you want to create. The vehicle is there. So to me, it was just like a no-brainer. And I love it. I really love it. Yep.
No, that is amazing. The amazing part for me that I'm, feeling is your big vision, right? The fact that you're not playing small, right? Because some people don't think big enough. Like you're putting that $20 million on that, right? And then you're almost the universe is creating the momentum for you to build that. And a lot of people still have that, oh my God, this is a pyramid scheme. And I used to think like, okay, so aren't you already in a pyramid? Like what do you mean it's a pyramid scheme? Because the CEOs are at the top of the pyramid, and then you are at the bottom. So no matter what, you are always in this pyramid. But people put these seeds and these thoughts or these stories or these blueprints in their mind. And it's so hard for them to see an opportunity that is in front of them because they're so used to doing the time for money, right? Exchanging all of their time for money. So let's go deeper into you being a female entrepreneur and what does a day look like maybe in your mastermind or, something you're creating right now, like in your 24 hours and building this new leverage, right? And I love how you use the words that most people probably don't put in their vocabulary, right? Leverage, passive income, reoccurring income. People think if I don't get up and work, I don't receive money. So, that's all they're thinking about. They're not thinking about new outlets. So yeah, let's go a little bit deeper about what a day would look like for you.
Absolutely. So obviously I've got my own personal development company, which it's just my baby. I love it. And the people and the women that I meet from the connections from Facebook, etc. So that also, which is interesting, that goes really side by side with what I'm really doing now. So my skills obviously were personal development. I'm just, use that together with my network marketing company. So I was starting to see how there was a bigger purpose for this company coming in. Is now I can actually really work with, with people's team's mindset in such a deeper level. So for me, really important, I have my top 3 priorities in my week. I need time for, playfulness, and that's like ocean, exercise. Writing, it's massive for me. I write a lot, I'm working on my next year for my book, etc. And then also it's like my own, I call it, like playfulness. I write keywords, and then from that, I just decide what to do. I want to be creative to create a program around that. So I've got to create space, because I'm a very creative person, to just things to land. So when I allocate that time, and I call it my greatness time, so I wake up in the morning and I start writing and be playful. Sometimes I write, sometimes I'm posting things. New ideas always land, and then I test my ideas. It's really important for people to have all the time. It's like I test it in regards to, is this something that really should entertain now? And if I get no, it's like, cool, great idea. It goes in my ideas bank and Evernote. I've got a lot of them there, which I've actually brought up in the past, So I test it too, because for me, mental clarity is the number 1 key. And I'll repeat that again. Mental clarity is number 1 key for anything in your life. Doesn't matter what you do. Where you are a mother, an entrepreneur, where you are literally a builder, where you're an artist, is where you open yourself up. So if I'm stressed out and I'm focusing on lack, or this is not working, etc., I'm closing my receptive, my energy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to track more of what is not working. So blocking time, and this is big for when I work with clients in the mastermind as well. I just open your diary. Where do you feature? It doesn't. So I teach them how to do that. Same thing with my team. We create this 90-day plans. It's like, okay, where is your time off? So important. So we work out how much time you have. We divide it into thirds. We've got to have that time off. You've got to have personal development time, and then you've got the time for the business. And then with that, we divided that. So massive. So obviously got to preach what I teach. So for me, blocks of me time, recharge is, to become more magnetic, I guess, is really important. Obviously, I meditate a lot. And meditation, a lot of people think it has to be like an hour, half an hour. Everything I do is kind of express. That's my energy anyway. So I go in there, and I personally believe, and in a couple of videos that I've given away for free on this, that if we go for too long, we're actually trying to manifest from our heads, not our hearts, which is the most powerful space. So no more than 2 minutes. I know with my breath, I teach clients how to do this very quickly, lower myself, so I totally loose, the mind calms down, it's no longer looping. I relax my central nervous system, and then once I get there, I do an exercise and I take people through it, and then I start literally asking first, what have you got in here stored for me already? And I get, I'm very visual and energetic, and I feel it in my body. And then I start to placing, this is what I want, this is what I desire. And then I get in the time, literally within hours, somebody calls that matches that. Or I see something, Google is the best reflection of manifestation. I'll be Googling or doing something will pop out, go, oh my God, that is in alignment with what I was trying to do. And I click on that link and it'll randomly take you to something else. So that is, again, being in the open and receiving. Exercise, to me, is massive. So I still recovering a lot from, I had a virus that totally crippled my central nervous system, and it through my spine level, and affected my brain. So I've got to be careful that I don't overload myself, so I can get anxiety. So it's really important that exercise for me is one of those things that really keeps me in check, because I just get up in the morning and I release any mental energy out. And again, I'm expressed. I don't go to the gym more than 20 minutes. I know that probably anybody's in the fitness industry goes, how can you do that? That's just my way. It's like a little Speedy Gonzalez goes around the gym.
Yeah, it has to be for you, right? It has to work for you.
Yeah, so that's for me. So that's really, really important. And then, people say, I love the ocean. Since I was a little kid, I said, I am the ocean. The ocean is Like I could just be going through a lot in my head, and the moment I plant my feet in the sand, I just literally just feel, oh, and it just disappears. So important for me is to have that ocean time. I'm literally just, it's just out. It's just, next block is the ocean for me. So I've managed to create a lifestyle that supports as well my goals. And that's really, really important. And I know that if you're in a space where you want to create your dreams, there will be what we see a deficit or an incongruency. And that's okay. Just start to work with what works for you. But you've got to get very clear what works. So for me, I got very clear. I need to have ocean time. I need to be by the beach. I'm South American. I can't be in winter time. I need to be around the sun. I've got to have loving people surrounding me all the time. I've got to have me time when I can unplug. I love writing. So you structure your life around it, and all of a sudden you become more productive. You become more magnetic, and you're creating different as well. So if you can get something from this call, just get very clear, like your top 10 non-negotiables. And if they're not in your life right now, that's okay. Begin to create your life around it. What do you need to fill your tank? What is the things that energize you the most? Because otherwise, everything else, everybody's agendas, come into place, and we're just depleting. And then we're wondering why we get sick, We have these breakdowns of anxiety, etc. So yeah, making sure you're filling yourself all the time. That tank has to be full. And trust me, this is an ongoing journey. I'm not going to say I've mastered it, because I will be lying, because I've got such a, driver personality. I'm constantly going, oh, I've gone over too much. Oh, go down. Oh. So this is an ongoing life journey for me as well.
Yeah, no, definitely the boundaries, setting your boundaries is key to making sure that you are fulfilled, but also, saying no is one of the most powerful things for just people draining you, right? And I read this thing the other day, and actually it was about emotional vampire, right? And I was just like, oh my goodness, like I've heard of energy vampires or some other type of vampire thing. But what really got me when it said emotional vampire, but that is a vampire that, not a typical, but a person that really plants those like subtle things that drain you on a level that you're unaware of, till when you feel like you can't get away, right? How people feel trapped in situations. And so your emotional being is something that is just as powerful as, anything else in your life, the emotional response or holding on to something when somebody says something to you. And so we're going to get into what spiritual alignment looks like for you and how that plays a part in, your big picture. And when you're tapping into the spiritual alignment, talk about your big vision for this new venture that you have. Like, what is that goal and how you set it and how you became clear? Because a lot of women don't know how to get clear. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that clarity? Like, what would a journaling look like? Like, what would it say? How would you know that you're in flow?
Yeah. So I do quite a few little things, but I'm going to just pick probably the most profound ones that are in my life. First is the one that comes to most to share is the daily reviews. Now, I set big goals, but I don't plan like 1, 2, 3, 4 year aheads. It's just not part of my spirit. I do 90-day plans, write down what I want and then start working backwards. And I'm holistic, but very practical. And this is what I teach. Like, it's great to have, all this vision board, all these palm trees and a laptop and stuff like that. But what are you doing every day to match it, And then you wonder, oh, the universe is not working. Honey, no, you're a physical being. You need to be taking action. So one great thing to do every day, and I share this with my team as well, when we get in our calls, okay, honey, can you please share with me what's really working? And then you say, what's not working? What do you need to continue doing? And what do you need to delete? Really simple. And you can do this at the end of the day as well. It's 4 powerful questions. Don't need to do all this massive writing. You just know. If you get into that heavy, you go, okay, this didn't work. Okay, what do I need to delete? I'm spending too much time doing whatever it is. What I need to do more of? So you actually tap it into the productivity. What is really working? Okay, I need to do more of that. And if you just do little keywords, etc., don't need to do massive again. Keep it really simple. The simpler it is, the more consistent you're going to be. At the end of the week, you're going to see a pattern. You're going to see very, very easy pattern. So that's something that I do call straight away. I go, okay, come on, let's share. And the responses I usually get is, what's not really working is, I'm talking to lots of people and nobody's saying anything. I said, okay, let's go back to that. You know, how are you showing up? Tell me what's in your mindset when you pick up and make those calls. Oh, that's really hard, that they're going to say no, etc. So is it really them or is it really you? And they go, it's really me. Okay, so everything is mindset, you know. And when somebody's going through a little bit of a funk, I mean, by that meaning like they're out there, and this is, if you want to grow, and I'm talking about really grow in a way that you don't even fear rejection, because this industry will bring up all those fears really up, and it's perfect, you know? Absolutely perfect. You can turn the opportunity to turn this fear into fears, because those fears have been with you for a long time and they're keeping you small. And I would say playing small is one of the biggest debt that you can ever play in your life. It pays no interest, no dividends, and it's holding you back, you know. It's all those fears coming up. You join one of these companies because the personal development is so there, and you're faced with all the gunk that you've been blocking right in front of you. And if you're one of those people who really wants to, you know, up-level your life, you can do that as well too. So yeah, so the mindset thing coming through. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, kind of going a different
No, you're good. We definitely want to talk about the mindset, right? Because that's what it's about. What it comes to is how you feel about yourself. And, you know, exactly. So yeah, tap into that mindset and tell us how you created your big vision for yourself in 2020, right? Is that the one? Is that the year that?
Okay, absolutely. So I go first. Whenever I go into my own visions or my goals, I actually tap into the feeling first. So what does Susana want to feel? And I was like, my keywords are like impact, you know, to me it's massive. Create massive impact. Create community. So it's not about one-on-one, just impact, but in masses. Create financial abundance. To me, financial abundance reflects that, especially for women, you financially empower women, they create communities and schools, etc. So it goes back to the bigger impact. So I work a lot with keywords, and if you want to do that, just write keywords on post-it notes and just have it on the wall. Don't think about it, and just ponder around them and see it, and you get these real insights and ideas. And then from that going, okay, what's going to be, so go with if you look at the funnel, go with the emotion, the feeling. It's the top of the funnel. And then I go, okay, so feel it. And I was like, okay, you know, to feel it in my body, get ideas. And then I go, okay, what is the vehicle? Like, what is the vehicle? It's going to do this. And that's when ideas will come in. You know, this company came in. It's like, wow, I had no idea this is actually a vehicle for that. And then I go, okay, from the vehicle, what's going to be my biggest flow? And I go, speaking, training, being in front of people, really empowering. It's like, great. So the funnel starts getting smaller, you know, down there. Okay, cool. What strategies do I need to take place now to get me to that there? And then comes the 90-day plan. And before the 90-day plan, I get like, you know, need to focus, build a team of such and such numbers, create 20 millionaires with that, expand your global business to these countries, etc. It's like, great, I've got it. Now, what's my 90-day plan? And a 90-day plan may not be all those things. It's like, what needs to be in check right now that's going to give me the biggest flow to the big idea? Again, I go work with flow all the time. And it could be as simple as, you know, for example, book yourself twice a week and do yoga.
Right.
Little things like that will come up. And you're going, how is that in alignment with that? But that's what comes through. So obviously the body just needs time to open up even more. And then I'll go, okay, now let's talk about in regards to, you know, in the business. Okay, pick 3 people, group them together and do some, you know, we do millionaires. We actually got one this afternoon, you know, millionaires training. And they can be also your coaches. Train those people to be your coaches. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. Cool. So you play it. And if you notice, by the way, it's actually playing. It's not like going, I need to build 20 millionaires and I need to be doing this, so many phone calls. I need to be, it's like, I can't create like that. It's just
stuffy.
All head. Yeah. All head rather than heart, you know. And my soul signature is very joyful. So I've got to fuel that. I've got to go with, you know, with what actually brings my spiritual alignment as well too. So to summarize, always, again, feelings. I think we get taught so much that we manifest from our heads. You've got to feel that manifestation first. What does it feel like for you to be in that flow? You achieved everything that you really want to do. You're absolutely in the middle of it. How does it feel? What are the contentment, those keywords, etc.? Once you're in it, just ask, okay, what will be my next step? Like, what will take me there? and you will get some random questions, random answers, and just write it down while you're still meditating and going through it, and ask, what do I need to do today or in the next 90 days? Or if I were to make one profound, radical, absolutely game-changing decision that will take me closer to my goal in the most joyful, effortless, amazing way, what would that be? Ask power questions. So, and this, Kerry, it's like the ability to ask big questions, which is going to give you the big answers. It's not like how I'm going to pay my bills today.
Right, but
Yes.
that's what people do. They ask
Yeah.
those little suffocating questions, right?
Exactly, yeah. So ask bigger questions, but don't neglect your 2-day responsibilities as well too. Yeah. And that's going back again from survival to thriving, switching from the amygdala brain, which you literally your cortisol, and moving into the more expansive part of your brain when it starts asking big. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love everything you're saying about the spiritual alignment, but also just the reason that our body is that vehicle. When we create that space and we also let our body, start to feel from our heart center is huge. And I want to go into like the technology part. Some people are really super afraid of technology, but when you really want to create like passive income and see the money coming in, you do need that funnel concept, but you also need to start to create a little space for technology because it's not going anywhere. So how has
Yeah.
technology, helped you advance, and how do you see it building that big picture that you're looking forward to?
I think if you listen to this interview, you start to see that I like to do things short infusion, and I only like to do them once if I can, and then
Yeah.
automate, leverage, all that as well. I actually get grumpy with myself if I'm finding I'm having to repeat something. I'm like, oh, how can I automate it? How can I leverage? The questions I'm constantly asking all the time. So the only way you could do that is either you have 25 people actually doing your same job, as automated, go online. And it's a lot of people are so afraid. I can understand if you literally leaping.
Okay. All right. Let's see.